Okay. So I'm going to make sure the stream is okay. I think it's fine. Yeah, okay, cool, we're online. So, we're going to get back into it. Effectively, this is where we left off. So we're building a really nice web app to find something to watch quickly, right? And right now, we just have some names for the data. But what we're going to do, is use, eventually, we'll have like a full-blown API. Right now, I just have sort of mock data. But our data has 3 dimensions to it, right? We have the year, we have the title, and we have the rating. In no particular order, it looks like. Yeah, there's like no order. But effectively, so far, we can search for basically a name from one of the data that we have here and one of the emojis. So right now, we can search against 2 types of input, not just one, which is important because eventually, let's do like pineapple, because eventually what we want to do is, right, so this works or this works even though they don't belong to the same string. We're going to use this model and build on it so that we can search against the year, the title, and the rating. And this is really key to be able to sort of query data in a very flexible format. Okay, so I think if you guys don't have any questions, or if you do, just let me know. I'm going to continue where we left off. And I had an idea sort of during the break, which is, so far, we're trying this sort of weird technique to effectively, we have these buttons. I want to be able to say like, oops, let me get rid of that message. What I want is to say, if I click this button, now I'm searching for year. If I click this title, I'm searching for title. And the nice idea is that if I click on them, that data is being saved, so I'm searching against the year and the rating, right? It'd be nice to search against both. So we have to figure out how to do that programmatically. And the trouble is the method that we are using does not scale very well. So the idea is, what if instead of using one search bar and the button changes the data that we're using vModel with, right? Like, instead of clicking this, changing which query we're searching against, right? Because we have an object, and the object can be a year, a title, or a rating. What we probably want to do instead is have 3 different search bars, but only showing the one that is clicked on. That way, they don't have to share too much of their functionality, and it's like much more like easy to think about it. So let's see how quickly we can do this, right? Like let's go to here, our input. Okay, let's tip, right? So instead of searching for nothing, we're going to search for, this would be year, so we put like year. This one would be the title, and then this would be the rating. So we want to create some logic so that we're showing or hiding these depending on which one of these we click. And we actually kind of know how to do that because we know how to bind a method using the @click, which is a feature of Vue. So like here, we'll have our buttons, and then here, we'll have our searches. And we want to cache the search that we're using. We don't want to just like reset it every time. And then here will be the results. Okay, so effectively, we want to bind whether we show it or not to something inside of here. So let's like really think about this from first principles. Let's do this. So this is fine. We're going to toggle year, title, or rating. The space here doesn't make a difference. Now, in theory, it should. Let's do this. Let's get rid of the. I don't think we're going to use getActive anymore. And right, let's ignore this. So, okay, let's just see if this works. It's lagging for you, Nick? I'm sorry. I'm on the right internet. Is it still lagging? Let me check my speed. And then release any resource. I'm not using any resources. My internet is good, so I'm going to go ahead and blame Ukraine for this. The thing that matters isn't the download speed, it's the upload speed. At least for me. For you, you care about your download speed. So if you go to speedof.me, if your download speed is less than like 10 megabits per second, it's probably going to lag. But I think I'm pushing enough bits for this to be real time. I think. I can check it on my phone actually. Okay, it's smooth for me, so I'm just going to keep going. Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Anna, for letting us know. All right, let's keep going. So this is nice because this idea for how to deal with this is a lot more intuitive to me. So let's refresh it. We have the year. Whoops. Oh, no. No. We have an error. Okay, so if we go to console, holy cow. Failed to render function in. This has got to be simple. We deleted the, maybe view model needs a value. It does. That is really good to know. So never do this because Vue will freak out. Okay, so how do we keep going? Okay, so we have our year, our title, and our rating. And we want to show them conditionally whether we've clicked year, title, or rating, which means we probably need to save the state in memory. So like, let's go to our data, and we want some way, so like, let's just try this. Let's do searching as an object, and then we're going to use Boolean values to represent which one is active. Okay, this is start. It's probably a better way. So let's do like year, rating, and title. Okay, great, Nick, I'm glad. We have year, rating, and title. We're going to make these all Booleans, and to start, let's start by showing the title no matter what. So the title will be the first thing that we look for. And let's just make sure this compiles, and we didn't break anything. Okay, it compiles, and if I search, hang on, because our view model isn't connected to our query, right? So now if I type, it's not going to do anything. I need to at least do this. I need to say something like this. I need to say, I want to connect my view model to my query title. Okay, that works, great. So now we need to know which one we're using. So I have this really basic idea for how to do this. We have an object that has a year, title, and rating, just like this one, and this is just going to tell us the active, right? We can do like active query. So we have to first know which query is active, and then we're saving the state of the query, right? Oops, let me do this. Okay. So we want to connect. So let's make this always true at the start of the application. So this is like start of the app, always showing. Okay, cool. Then we can go over here, and there's two ways to do this, I believe. I think in Vue you have Vue v show versus, I guess, v if, right? I think v show in Vue is an optimized version of v if. conditional, right, so there's two ways to do this. You have vShow. There, okay, there's literally a thing on this. Okay, so generally speaking, vIf has higher toggle cost than vShow, while vShow has a higher initial render cost. So we prefer vShow if you need to toggle something very often. Okay, that's all I need to know. So we're going to toggle one of these search bars depending on the state, right? So like we're going to do like vShow is this is going to be equal to searching, and then these are individual. So this would be like, right, the first one's year, title, and the last one was rating, right? Okay. So then, oh, this is great. Then these just toggle, okay, so then these just change true or false. That's really simple to keep up with. Then this is taking up too much space. Let's try this. Okay, that didn't render. Okay, let's see if we can fix this. Does vShow, hang on, I think this isn't the right syntax for vShow. No, it's fine. So searching is, oh, we changed it, that's why. Let's do searching again. It's like, in my personal opinion, it's always better to try to debug something very quickly yourself, because it's a rabbit hole to look at your code, get confused, and then sort of just like make up why or why not it's working or not. So I like try to mentally debug because I find that that causes less sort of pain. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so we have title showing. All right, this is great. We have one search bar. If I type Justine, it's still connected to the query. And if I hit year, nothing happens, which is fine because we never programmed it to do something. But we know how, because we have the methods here. And now, this is really simple. We can say, okay, we can say, I want to do something clever. I want to iterate over the keys in an object, set them all to false, and then individually set year, title, or rating. That's nicer because if this gets arbitrarily complex, we don't have to write additional logic here. This is the same sort of iterate through all the keys, turn them all to false, and set one to true. So that'd be much nicer than having to like figure out what the opposite two are, right? So like remember yesterday, we grabbed some function over the internet for isEmpty object, and then that had, yeah, this website, CoderWall. On CoderWall, they said you could iterate through the keys in an object, and that's a nice way of doing this. So let's make, all right, we're going to do the scientific method. We're going to go into the console and check whether we can do this in the first place. So we're going to go to console, and we're going to make an object, and it's going to have who should the last person be? Ooh, Emin. We're going to add Emin. Hello, Emin. Emin is also true. And then this is you go, Emin. You go, man. Okay, so what we want to do is instantiate an object, make sure that this even works, which does. I can refer to the object, and I can do like Anna, Emin, or Nick, which is great. But what I want to do is have a general function that goes through each of the keys and sets the values to false. So to do that, I have some of the code. So like we're going to go for each key in the object, if the object has a property called, wait a minute, we don't care if it has a property, then let's just try a shortcut. Let's say key, oh, we need to be careful because I don't want it to copy by value, I want it to copy by reference, which I don't know if key will create a copy of Nick and then not permanently set it in the object. So we have to find out. So I can say, okay, I can say key equals false, right? And then we just check it. Okay, so I think that worked. Then let's query object. And okay, so it copied by value, which is useless. So we want to like, can I do this? Can I say object at the key is equal to false and still refer to the object and not a copy of the key? But I'm using the key as the, like the, not the index, but kind of like the index, like the map. I don't know, maybe this works. Okay, and then object. Hey, that worked. So I can look up a key by using a copy of it, but because objects are copied by reference, we're still referring to the source data, which means all of this will be set to false, which is ideal, right? So now we have our function. We've proved that it works with the scientific method. We go into here, and now we have this general function that just sets everything to false. And at the end of it, we effectively just want to say that the object at its year is true, right? And then the only thing we change is, the last line per function. There's probably a way to refactor this so that we don't have to write this 3 times, which is a little silly, but it's a start, okay? So we're going to iterate through all the keys, which works for an arbitrary amount of keys. We're going to set them to false using a reference, which is like really cool. And then when we're done, we're just going to set the key that we care about to true. And that's how we'll toggle which search bar we're searching for, which search bar we see whether we click the button or not. So now just bear in mind, this in like Golang, you could do like this. You could do like func. If you wanted to have it for some reason at the top of your function and not at the bottom, you could do this. I don't know if JavaScript does defer, but this is too insignificant for it to matter. Okay, and then this white space doesn't help the readability anymore. Okay, and feel free to ask questions if they come. So, okay, so now we have 3 functions that individually update which search bar we're searching against, right? And the default is title. So nothing should have changed, but if we click the buttons, something should change. Okay, so all right, this is good. When the app loaded, you saw that it had 3 search bars. That's fine because it was when it was loading. It hit them because VShow basically told it to hide. But if we click either one of these buttons, we expect it to change the search bar that we're looking at. Okay, so it doesn't, which is a problem. So we're calling toggle year. For each key in the object, set it to false and then set the year to true, which means once it's true, we're showing it if searching year is equal to true. So year title rating. vModel might be a problem because if we don't, okay, let's try that. Still not working. Let's do a quick debug, make sure that this is working. So we just go here, here, and here. And then we do console log, and then we'll say inside of, then I'm going to grab the name of the function. Oops. Uh-oh. Wait, whoa. This is wrong. This one, and this one. Console log. Okay, great. Now we're going to grab the name of the function, drop it into console log, and then we can just put a note to say whether or not we're inside of this function. So we want to make sure that this event is getting triggered when we click the button. And let's be a little bit obnoxious. Let's use alert so we don't have to open the console every time, because that is sort of annoying. Okay, so here, let's check that anything happened, right? So nothing, so why, right? These are, maybe if you're using a click, you don't need the parentheses, which would be sort of weird. Nothing's happening. So if I hit toggle, Are these, let's find the error. Oh my god. So object is not defined. And it's complaining about 152 here. Oh, that was dumb. That was super dumb. We needed to refer to not object, we need to refer to searching. Because this is just how we tested it, but we forgot that this is too general. Okay, so that should change, which means I'm more confident that this should work. So we have no errors yet. I hit the button, and I still don't get the alert. So I go to console. Searching is, oh, you know why? We need this searching. This dot. So we need to refer to not a global variable called searching, we need to refer to this app's searching variable, or property rather. So now I will bet you that this will work. Okay, so year? Yeah, inside. Okay, great. So now we're getting somewhere. Rather than, okay, we don't need this alert. Okay, let's check the placeholders. So we should be seeing a different placeholder, and I don't think we are, which is sort of weird. So like, okay, so like let's just try this. Oh, you know why? Because we're doing this problem again. We're outside of the scope, but we're still referring to object. So this is just screwed up. Let's do, if objects are references, we can make a variable to an object, and then we can use the name obj instead of this searching, which would be more flexible. So we do var obj equals this searching. Now we can go back to our stupid statement that we started with, that maybe wasn't so stupid, and just update these values, right? This one and this one. So we say for key in the object, which is now a reference because it's an object. Okay, we should be good. Okay. So okay. Hey. Okay, that's really nice for a few reasons, but like let me point out why. Let's say if you're searching for year, you're not just like typing in data, like maybe there's like a button that you have to press, or like maybe there's like a slider. Like it's much nicer if these are components and they can have their own controls, and we don't have to worry about making everything sort of cohesive, because the interface for searching for a year might be different than the interface for searching for a title. Or like a rating, maybe you just like click the stars and you don't have like text at all, right? So having completely individual search bars that show, depending or not we're clicking on one of these buttons, is a very good architecture. Now all we need to do is connect vModel, because if I type, I haven't bound the data, right? So all I need to do here is use vModel. So I do vModel, and then now I don't have to do anything like crazy, which is what we were trying to do in part one. We don't have to do any of that. We can just say, right, we want to say, what is it called? Our query. Now we're just referring individually to the query's year, the title, or the rating, right? The year, the title, or the rating. And I really, really prefer this design because we were like going crazy. Okay. So the thing is, this won't do very much because we're only talking to the title. We're not talking to the other data, but we're getting very close to making something that's useful. Okay, so now we've got that. I, in theory, can search for just an emoji, and that's fine. But if I do year, nothing happens. Oh, that's weird. Oh, cool, it's showing me, oh, that's kind of cool. I could have put a string, but because we put a number, so let's put like 2000 so that people have something. And then like, oh, this is kind of nice. We can do like, let's do like, I don't know, we'll just put 7.5. So, right, that's kind of cool. Or we can use the placeholder and then leave these as empty strings, and then the placeholder can describe how we're supposed to use these buttons, which I kind of prefer. because then these are just 0 values. They don't have to have any significance to them. Okay, so let's go to our placeholders, and then we'll do like year to XXX, e.g. Let's do like 1977, and then the rating would be rating, e.g. What would this be? It would be, oh, I think I can use multiple spaces and it won't change the actual output. And I think I can say the rating should be like 8, right? I should be able to do spaces here without changing the output. And then now, this is a sort of a long sentence, but now it loads, it hides. I can, okay, cool, this is nice. So it only works when I'm talking to the title, right? But all we need to do is create a function so that when we are iterating over search, search is considering everything from the year to the title and the rating, and not just considering the title, which is what it's doing now. So now we need to sort of get into user experience. We have to figure out, if you guys have questions, let me know. We have to figure out what the interface should be. So if I say title, you know, hello world, whoops, like Star Wars, that's fine. That makes sense because a title is just a string. If I say year, it's not good enough to just say a year because I don't actually care about the individual year. What I care about is before, during, or after the year. So for now, we could maybe say, like, that's sort of annoying. I don't want to be like too programmatic. You guys have ideas for this? Maybe we should do like 2000 plus, 2000 minus. I don't know. That sort of feels wrong too. You know what we could do? We could use. I'll check for comments. What we can do also is like, I kind of like comma syntax. So like if you leave nothing, maybe it's like the actual year. If you do a comma, it's 2000 or after, and if you do comma 2000, it's 2000 or before, which is like not user friendly, but it is really simple. I don't know, or like you could use dot syntax, like 1977, or I don't know. Like really this shouldn't be text at all. Well, it sucks to search for movies only in 1 year. What you really want is just, oh, dash. We forgot about the dash. Yeah, so Emma, the thing is, if we use a data picker, we really want to be able to select multiple dates, which, unless we have a custom component or we're using a dependency, I don't know that we can select a range, can we? Like, date range, what it is called, a data picker? I do kind of like the dash thing, because it's just sort of plain and simple. So the thing is, we can use a component like this, but that is very custom, and it's also a dependency. We could pick 2 dates, but to be honest, that feels a bit too techy. I just want this to be like intuitive. So I kind of like the idea of if I want to search this year. Oh, this is nice. Okay, so here's my proposal. We have like 1977 to search this year. We have 1977 to search from this year and after. And we have like this to search from this year and before. Or we can do like 1977 through 2000, because this is so human readable and it's like intuitive. And then additionally, it might be really nice. I had some other idea. If I had 1977 to like 2006, is that? I don't remember the idea. I think that's good though. Oh, this was the idea. Yeah, so the thing, Nick, we could use like really compound logic. We could say like anything before 2000, anything from 2000 and on, or maybe you're just like suggesting ideas. The thing is, if we get too techie, it's like not useful for anyone else. And if I asked you, how would you type the year, like 2000 to 2010, I think most people would sort of reason that that's how you would type it, or like maybe you have a space or something. But like I think this is sort of how humans think about time. Additionally, it'd be really nice to do like if I refer to the year 77 and not 27 or 19. I think I can do like, oh, Google. Okay, that was weird. You know, like the syntax? Oh man, but that's so technical, guys. Like that's like not. Yeah, dots are like pretty common in programming languages, but still, it's like a programming language. It's not just like text. But anyway, I mean, it's easy enough to change this. It's just a parser that deals with it. So like I've seen like, you can always put like an apostrophe before a year to refer to it also. So you could say like 77 through like 99. Like that's, ooh, that's kind of nice. All right, I will take this into, because like you're only referring to the current like millennia or like the century. You're not referring to, at least not yet. So here's my, what if we make the input field min? What if we make this input field with the minimum? Do you mean like, I don't understand the, do you mean like putting a capping it so you can't have a movie earlier than 1980? So like here's what I'll develop. I'm thinking like this is one syntax, or ooh, that kind of looks good, right? Or we could do like 2000 to 10, right? Like either of these I think are fine. So when I do this, does it save it? Because it's binding it to query year, which is just this one, which means it should stay there. Okay, cool. Input type number. Oh, I'll try that. I've like barely used inputs, to be honest. You probably know more about inputs than I do. Let me try that for you. Okay, so you said input for the year, which would be the first one. We were thinking to do like this, right? Let's just put it here for now. The first one. Okay, so you said input type equals number, min equals 0, max equals 99. Okay, I've never done that before. Year? Oh, wait a minute. I think I see what you're doing. So, like, if I put -5, it shouldn't accept that or something? Is that min and max and min years instead of 0? Oh, okay. Do you mean like that? Sorry, I'm getting confused. Because this is still input type number. Oh, sorry. I'm being an idiot. Then maybe this is a string now. Input type equals number, min max, fee show. Is that right? I've never done that. Input type number MDN. Oh, I see what you're saying. That's still too techy for me, to be honest. I just want to type this in. Because the thing is, like, if you do stuff like this, I don't know, like, can I still copy and paste stuff? Like, can I say, like, hello, copy and paste that? Yeah, like, it screws with, like, copying and pasting, which is sort of a nice feature to just, like, I don't know, I like, really prefer copying and pasting over these interfaces. But I will keep that in mind because I haven't used those input types before. Yeah, no, I see that. But we'll try this for now, it's fine. But I mean, thank you, I didn't know that. So we have, okay, so if I type something in a year, it should be, the data should be binding it. So if I like put like 2000 to 2002, right? If I go to title and I come back, it should still be there. Because this is just showing the, oh, what? What? Nick, you're a genius. Wait a minute. So if I like, can I paste it still? No, I can't. But the data picker is kind of nice. Let me play with this. Yeah, that's cool. But still, I'd rather... Yeah, I see what you're saying. Make it a data picker, like a min-max. Okay, I see your point. Okay, so we have year. So we have 2000 to 2002. And then I go to title, then I come back and it's still there because the data is being bound, which means that I can do that for everything. So I can say Star Wars from the year 2000 and after, if it had a rating. Okay, so we still have to figure out rating. But I'm pretty happy with this dash thing. So we can do like, if I said 2000 plus, that's kind of nice. So we have like 2000, let's do 2000, 2010, or 2000. Yeah, that makes sense. Or maybe you say like, or minus 2000. No, let's just forget that. Like, has a rate, because like you probably wouldn't care about a rating being below unless you're like a sadist. So let's do this. Let's just make this even simpler. Let's just assume that the year and the rating are always progressive. They're always pointing up rather than having to worry about parsing it, because that stuff is just sort of a detail. Right now, we can say, give me all the Star Wars movies that are 8.5 or above from the year 2000 and after. That's like much more simple, which is fine because this is sort of a demo. Okay, so that data is being bound internally. So we have which search field are we using? What's the state of our query? This is pretty much junk now. Let me just sort of obscure this. Like that. Let me obscure this too. And then let's make sure this compiles before we keep going. Yeah, I feel like it's compiling fine. It's not compiling, it's interpreting it. And then, so this data will be substituted for the data that we have in this file, which means that we just need to have handlers. So right now, everything is being dealt with right in this one. Oh, this is sort of weird too. Let's just put the result value. We don't care about the other stuff. Let's check that, and then if I type Justine, okay, we're good. Joe, Just, Z, Herza, Anna, okay. Oh, let's add Emin. Emin, let's go put that there. Oops. And we actually don't really care about emoji anymore. So I think we could even say we don't talk about emoji anymore at all. Well, we do actually. Okay, so let's think about this. Everything happens because of this one line. We're iterating through a computed property called search. For each of the results from the search, we're showing the value. But this should be more like a filter, not a search, which means we can have 3 individual functions that check the internal data, and then we have like a sum function that deals with it as a sum. I think we might have to remove duplicates though. If we have one, I don't know, maybe we have one monolithic function. Let's see. So let's go ahead and comment this out, and let's create a new placeholder function. And we know, let's make this filter, and then let's go back here, right? And then we just need to change the search to filter instead. Okay, so this should compile, but it should also be useless. And let's check that there's no warnings. So if I go to console and I click some things, right, I get the same thing. Okay, so that's good. So now, this is nice. It's not showing anything, which is sort of nice too. Okay, so we're going to return matches, which means I want to have that in memory. So var matches for now is going to be an array of empty objects. And we'll just do that for now because it's dynamic. Okay. But yeah, we don't care about this stuff anymore because that was sort of for fun. So we're loading data from this script tag, right? So we have our data. Let's go ahead and let's start converting this. So let's make this title, and nothing should break. I like this feature on some sites. Yeah. I like it too. I don't mind it. The thing is, that part is sort of flexible because the data picker is just going to help us pick the data. So that could be anything. I'm going to try just doing this with strings so that we don't, so that it's not like, maybe it's adding some complexity. I'm not sure. Okay, does this work? It works. So now let's start making this look more like actual data. So let's grab the first 10 or something. Okay, we have our data here. Oops. So put that there, put that there. Should still work, but it doesn't do anything because return matches is empty. So now, how did we do this before? We said for var result. That's okay, Nick. Feel free to explain again if you like to. I don't mind. Okay, so for each result in results, ooh, this might be simpler than I think. We're just iterating through the results. Let's just do this. Let's just do matches, push, result. And then this should give us everything. Yeah. Is that it? Is that all of our data? 1, 3, 6, 7. Yeah, that's 7. Okay, and now if I do dead, whoa. Oh, because we're not filtering it. Okay, so this is so the thing that I don't know how to do yet, the only vertical that I'm not anticipating is we need to make sure that the number is a number and not a string. And I am almost for certain that when we did this, the vModel thing, we need to also add a modifier to indicate that this needs to be stored as a number, and I believe string is a default. So all that really means is we need to do view modifier number for vModel. And this will do the conversion for us, so we don't need to do anything sort of fancy here. So one of the things that we can do, that's cool. Here, dot number. So this is a modifier we can use. So we say vModel dot number, and then this will coerce the input to be a number and not a string. So all we need to do is for query year and query rating, force these to be dot number. Now for this, I wonder if dot string even exists. I suspect it doesn't. Right, which means these won't line up, but I could probably do, like, here, let's do this. So this should work, nothing changes. Yeah, and then I'm just curious, can I do that? I don't think so. What? I can? That's kind of weird. Wait, if I put it not, what is that? Does it save it to like not a number or something? I have no idea what that's doing. So what happens if we put not a number in query year? We can find out by doing a console log when we hit the filter function, because then a dependency change, which means computed, will be executed every time a dependency changes. So we can do console log, and we need to log the state of this query year, right? Because that's this query year. Oh, this is sort of weird, but I think it's fine. Let's see what happens. What if I just define type for, that probably will work. because inputs are supposed to be very good at like dealing with this stuff, so you don't have to, and that's actually probably a better approach. I just want to see if I type, wait, what? There. Oh, it's saving it as a string. It doesn't care about us at all. Let's try a number. I think I want to try your idea, Nick. I think that that's probably better. So like if I go to year, I'm typing, okay, so it's completely dynamic. You can't force it. Wait, if I do this as year number, oh, I'm getting native numbers if I type a number. Oh, I think I need a combination of me and Nick's idea. So I need to combine my modifier with Nick's type. And then that should be the best of both worlds. So let's do like MDN type number. I think I just do type equals number. That should coerce the type from the HTML perspective. And then from the client perspective, we've already got that taken care of. So that's fine. And then what are the other types, right? There can't be, so like MDN input type. I want to see what all the types are. I've like never used inputs before. Okay, so we have type, checkbox, image, colored. Oh, there's a ton of these. Where's number? Oh, there's number. So like string must be the default. Okay, so this is pretty simple. I wonder what type search means. Okay. Okay, cool guys. I think we're good. So we can just do for these two, type equals number, which should coerce it. We can just pad this. These are getting kind of long, so we'll just leave it alone. Okay, so we'll go back here, and then I'm good for title. If I go to year, good, Nick, congratulations, that was amazing. Wait a minute, did you just trick me into using this? Wait a minute, can I paste? Oh, Nick, we like both won. Oh, when we use the min and the max, I can't paste. But if we omit it, we're fine. Which means that all we need to do is set a min and max to like 1900 and like 2100. That makes perfect sense. Yeah. Let's do like min 1900, max 2100, and then min rating is something, max rating is something. By the way, in the future, we would want to refactor this stuff into components. This is just sort of like the naked way to do it. The minimum rating would be 0.0, the maximum would be 10.0. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay. Yeah, Nick, you're killing it. Okay, so we go to year, 2000. Can I paste? Yes. Can I go below 1900? No. Can I go above 20? Sweet, dude. You've just made this validator. 10, 5, negative. What? No, I can. Fuck. Why? Is it my title? No, it saved it. Oh, it just... Okay, I could do it, but it didn't like it. Okay, cool. This is very, very, very good. Yeah, seriously. I just learned a whole bunch. Okay, cool. So now we just need to do the fun part. We need to make sure our filter function checks against our internal query and basically just gives us the correct output, which we know what the correct output is. We just need to do that. And because all the data is stored as a native number, we don't need to worry about the conversion because we used a modifier. And Nick is basically my superhero right now. Okay, so we can do this. We have step 1, step 2, step 3. First, we're going to filter the year if it exists. Then we're going to filter the title if it exists, and then we're going to filter the filter the rating if it exists. And the key is if it exists, because we might need to protect it with a guard like we did before. If we don't have a guard, that's like a very easy way to screw something up. That being if the data is empty, which is a legal thing. But additionally, we actually need a guard for everything, right? If sorry, let me get water. If all three of them are empty, then I actually need like a whole guard. Okay, so Anna asked, so I suspect that numbers don't matter? No, they do. Anna, wait a minute. Shit. Because, like, I can type it. Oh, you know, you're right. I want the type to not be a number. I want it to go per like, tenth, right? That would make more sense. So, oh, is that how I do it, Nick? I don't know how to do this stuff. Because there's only one number type. There's not like a float defined. So then we set a step. You're a freaking genius. Okay, so that would be for rating right here. And then we're going to do step equals 0.1. Yeah, Anna, that was a phenomenal idea. I would have missed that completely. This is why this is nicer than programming in isolation, because you don't pick this stuff up automatically. Okay, so here is everything. We go back here. We go to our rating. After it's loaded, uh-oh, I think I broke something. I totally broke something, but I don't, wait, is it here? Yeah, so that need an early guard. Okay, so we're gonna just make a note for later. We go back, we're back to our, here we go. So we go to rating, and I put a rating, and that's really nice. And I can also type 5.5, or I can increment, or decrement. So somebody might prefer this to be like whole numbers, but this is kind of nice. Because like I'm picky about this stuff. Like if I have too many search results, I might force this to be like instead of 8, I might want like 8.5. Oh, you know what? And I can use my keyboard keys too. That's weird. It overflows. That's probably not the best behavior, but it's not the worst. Wait, does it overflow? No, it doesn't overflow. I just like, it was going so fast I just invented. Okay, this is great. So both of you got like points. So now we don't, okay, that doesn't need to represent a float because that doesn't even exist. This is a little sloppy, but it's fine. So the thing, guys, is that this giant block of text could be refactored into a component. That could be refactored into like this, which I want to know how to do, but it would be like search, right? And then I can give it some parameters. And that is like much cleaner than exposing how it works. So just know that like your code doesn't have to be ugly. But when you're doing it for the first time, it's probably easier to not worry about it. Okay. Okay, guys, I think we're pretty close to done, just as a heads up. Because like all we need to do is this part. So we need an early guard. Screw this, we don't need that. Okay, let's go to filter year if it exists. Screw that, we're gonna just filter the year. So we're gonna do 3 for loops, which is a little bit expensive. But if we were using a proper server, we could like query it and then let the server optimize. This is sort of pseudo. So for var result of results, ooh, we just do an if now, right? So this is regarding year. So we want to compare the this query's year, and remember the default behavior that we want is, like if we put 2000, we want 2000 and after. So if this query year, if the query is 2000, so if the movie is, if 2000 is greater than or equal to the movie, or the movie is greater than, let's try this query year is greater than or equal to the results year. And if, is this right? That feels wrong. If 2000 is greater, or if I said if the movie's year was 2006, if 2006 is great, I think that's better. Because this is like the subject. The subject is the one that does the question. So if the results year is less than or, if the result, so it's 2006 on the left-hand side. If 2006 is, no, it should be greater than, I think that's right. Okay. Okay, so let's just try with this one filter, right? Because that should be enough information. So give me the movies that are 2010. Oops, 2010. Computed, cause filter. Let's check the console. Okay, that's good. So we type 2010. We're getting, why are we getting debugging? Oh. Okay. Okay, so for var result matches push. Year title, and then this should display the title. So what's wrong, guys? What's wrong? For each of the results in this result, so we're making a new variable. If the results year is greater than or equal to the query's year, which is correct, then push it. And then we're returning the matches after it. So the logic's fine as far as I can tell. But there's something fishy going on. And I suspect that what we can do is this. We can say console log, and let's just get a statement, like a testimony of this. And we'll say this is equal, greater than equal to this. And we'll put a question mark. So now let's sort of let's check this. Okay, that's a good clue. Are we using this results, this query year? That doesn't exist. Let's just do 0. So we go to year and we type something. Wait, where's, oh, the movie is 2018. So if I said, give me movies from 2000 and after, that expression's right, then it should be true. So now let's go down into a logical expression. If I say 2000, right, if I make 19, okay, so let's do like 2050. Good. So this query year, okay, so Evan said this query year is greater than the results year. Did I have this backwards? I thought it was fine because, like, well, let me try it because I mean, something's broken, so. Okay. So, year 2000. Yeah, I think there's, like, something really weird going on. Because that was greater than. I know that this is fine, so I'm not worried about the Boolean. I'm worried about something else. So, like, okay, we're going to use our science hat, and we're going to just say, every time I enter this, give me a test. So instead of typing, I'll just paste it, and I'll go to year, and I'll paste. So I hit test, and it's going through the 7 movies, and we want to check now whether we're inside, of the if statement. So let's double check that we're even down here. That's okay, I mean, don't worry. I mean, I struggled with it too. Okay, so let's try this again. So we'll paste it in, so it gives us the output once, and then clear this. Okay, let's try that. So, wait, here? Yeah, 2000. Here, clear that, copy this, paste this. Yeah, wait, what? It's still pushing the result. So it's going inside of the if statement, which is true. There's something weird going on. Because this is evaluating just fine, and this is evidence of that. And then we're pushing matches at the end, but we're not getting anything displayed. Maybe for each result in filter. Here's filter. For each result in filter, give me the filters. Give me the result. Just give me a result. Okay, so we had a year, 2000. It's weird. Oh, guys, I'm being an idiot. I can't see the output. That's what's the... It's like working the whole time, and I have the debugger in the way, and I can't see that the output is working. That's embarrassing. That's probably the most embarrassing thing I've done. So 2015. Are these really that recent? Cool. But it's still giving me everything. Wait, is it? Shit. Okay, so I can say, oh yeah, that's the problem. These are like way too new. So let's take 2018. Yeah. So okay, that's awesome. So the year is working already. We just need to program title and rating, and then this is done. I mean, obviously, if we make it pretty, it's better. But the point is to show you that this doesn't have to be complicated if you like understand how. And I don't know what I'm doing. This is my first time doing this. But once you look at the code and you sort of understand it, it's not that hard. This looks really cool with the debugger turned on. This is so cool. So this will be really nice when we have the 250 for the data and not just the little amount that we have now. Okay, so let's copy this logic. Now we don't need to do a number comparison. What we're going to do is a title comparison. So we want to check. Oh, we have to do we have to sanitize again. We do var title equals this result. Wait. We do. Where did we sanitize? Before or after? Oh, we sanitized the query. Right. So var query equals this query to lowercase. So we sanitize the query, then we iterate the results, then we need to sanitize the results. Title is is result. Just copy this. We don't need the this because we're creating result. So then we just say result title to lowercase. So now we have a shorthand to refer to the results title. And now we can pretty much borrow half of this expression. We just want to say whether, let's do query includes, we just want to say whether the query includes the title, right? If the query includes the title, then we can push it. There's one problem that we're going to have with this design, but it's okay for now, which is I think we're pushing too many results. Because yeah, this needs to be like an and. These need to be the same if eventually. But I'm willing to start here. So, something. So if query includes title, match push result, var title result to lowercase. I broke something. I'm probably referring to a variable that doesn't exist. Oh, because query, it's not, this is an object, that's why. We can't lowercase the object, we need to lowercase the query's title. So we have the query and we have the title. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so now if I search for movies from 2017 and after with the title of the somewhere in it, do these all? No, they don't. I don't have the. Dead what? Let's check why. Is the year working? Yeah, year's fine. So it's not doing anything. So we check that the query's title is lowercase, so it's sanitized, that's good. And we're checking the sanitized query against the sanitized title. And the title is the result, and specifically its title. That's lowercase. And then we push the result onto the stack. But it doesn't change anything, which means it's like here we did that before. We sanitize, we iterate. If this, then push that. Let's see this. Like, let's get rid of this guy. And if I do title, what are my titles? Like Deadpool? Okay, let's do, this is called a trace. Let's do a trace to make sure that we are reaching certain milestones in the code. So we effectively want 3 traces to show somewhere. And if we only get 1 or 2, we know that something's broken. So this is just like a nice debugging technique. So we go to inspect, console. So we got trace 1 and trace 2, which is evidence that we got here and we iterated over the results 7 times. So we need to find, can we ever get trace 3? So if I type deedpool, I should have gotten it already. So that means we don't care about this, we don't care about this, but we do care about the query and we do care about the title. And we want to compare them two from each other. Okay, let's try this. Wait, I don't think we're ever going to get inside of here. So that shouldn't change anything. But query includes title or ooh. Oh! And I think you're right, because a smaller thing can't include a bigger thing, but a bigger thing can include a smaller thing. Dude, I wish I could give you guys like candy every time you do that. Title includes query. And I remember I changed that from before because I thought this was more semantic. I didn't realize that this was a logical requirement. Because like right here we had result include query. And here I had changed it because I was an idiot. So let me find out. I'm sure this is right. Nick, can you go ahead and just like thank Anna endlessly? I'm waiting. Okay, let's try that. Deadpool. Whoa. This is amazing. Can we filter the year and the title? So if I said, let's compare, need 2 things that have the same word. So like Thor, so there, story and Thor, and the difference is 2018 and 2017. So let's try like story, no sorry, or 2017. Okay, so it's including 2017, but if I do 2018, it should hide it. So now we're not supposed to get Thor Ragnarok anymore, right? But if I say 2017, cool. Of all the code written to do that already, because a rating is a number, and we've already written a filtering function for a number. We just used the year before. So now I can say number. And the only things that I should need to change, so this is rating. The only thing that we should need to change is rating here and rating here. And in theory, this will work. I have a concern that we're pushing too many, because like this has an opportunity to push, this has an opportunity to push, and I feel like it's going to push too many onto the data, into matches. But we're about to find out. So if I said, give me, now we can't have bad movies. So I want movies, these actually did pretty well. Let's do movies that were 7 or greater. No, come on. Wait, why is it repeating? Oh, guys, this is my concern. Every time we hit a filter function, it's matching everything, and therefore it's putting everything into matches, which is like duplicating our effort. So we basically need to just combine all of this for now into one function, where later you might want to optimize this and use a different design altogether. So this shouldn't be that hard, but it might get a bit like verbose. So we are going to copy this, leave this as a backup, and what we're going to do is we need to make one if statement. So we're basically forcing it to match 3 requirements. So let's start with these two. Like filter year and filter rating are similar enough. And the only thing that changes is this conditional. So this and this have to be true in order for it to push, which means that's already done. Okay, so that was easier than I thought. Then we have filter year, and we have filter rating. Now we need to think about title. So we should have a third less results now. After it loads, yeah, that's a third less. So the difference is we need to sanitize here, we need to sanitize here, and then now all we need to do is add this condition to here, in between everything else, which is amazing because now this should work perfectly. We don't have to do any sort of guards or anything. This is the entire business. This is called business logic. This is the business logic for our entire app, which is really powerful. Put everything, yeah, exactly, Emin. That's exactly what we need to do. Because if we do the other architecture, it's adding it where it should be removing it. This is much nicer because it's just much less code. So this is the thing is, my only complaint here is that this is a bit verbose, but we can break it up. We can do like this, which is just slightly easier on the eyes. And then while we're at it, let's put a comment at the end of each line delimiting the intent. And then we can even put this on a separate line, which might be a bad idea, to just make it even more clear. So here we're filtering the year. Here we're filtering the title. And here we're filtering the rating. For what it's worth, when you put comments next to each other like this, I think these are called like liquid comments. There's actually a word for it. Go like loves this stuff, so that's why I know about it. Liquid comments, Golang. I can't find it, but there's like this idea has like there's like a website dedicated to why code should be commented like this. Okay, so now this is fairly readable. The only thing that's sort of weird is the sanitization thing, but it's okay. And now we just need to connect our giant thing of data into here. So I say Star Wars, Deadpool. No, you know what? I want a movie that's like 8.5 and has the letter I, or like the number 2. Oh, these are yours. 2. Okay, so now, Nick, the other day you asked me for like a movie to watch. I am about to give you a movie to watch. All we need to do is point the data to our results. And the data is already a global variable because we imported it, which means I can now just trash this and refer to this as whatever this is called, results, right? So now I can say, use a global variable called results, comma, and then, boom. Guys, what are we going to watch tonight? Need suggestions. So for what it's worth, the reason this is a nice architecture is, imagine instead of year, title, and rating, you have like 10 emojis right here. And you can search for the director of photography. You can search for the year. You can search for the rating. You can, search for the box office performance. If you had like all these parameters to search for in this like instantaneous, intuitive UI, and we had images, that would just make this so nice, because like looking for movies, and it kind of sucks, to be honest. If any put is left everything. Okay, so let me just. Got a comment. Emin said, if any input is left blank, everything is, you think everything should like, oh, yeah. So what we can do, Emin, is instead of showing this, we can show it if at least one of the inputs is filled out. In the meantime, Nick, I need a movie recommendation. I need like some parameter to search for. All right, so Emin, what I can do is, I don't want to show the list items unless something, right? So I can say v-if, we did this before, if I find the code I could just copy it, but let's think about it, right? We want to do v-if, it's going to get a little weird. I should have a method that checks whether any of our queries have a value that is either not 0 or not empty. Okay, so let's make a function called queried. We'll make it a computed property, so we'll leave it without this thing, right? The parentheses. And then I'll real quickly add a method called queried that goes above everything right here. Queried is equal to a function. And then here I'll just say we're going to return a true or false whether or not, Jesus, not this one, this one. So then this would be this query year is greater than 0, and this title does not equal this, and this rating is greater than 0. Right? It sucked to see a movie with 0 as the rating. Okay, and then let's do the same sort of syntax we did before. Although bear in mind, because JavaScript is a little wonky, this might break because of semicolon insertion. But we can at least try. Now, I'm fairly confident this is all we need to do. This is queried as a computed property, not a method. Okay, great. So we just go down to here. We're going to put this over her. Okay, thank you, Nick. I was waiting. Let's try this. Okay, so Emin, the point is, nothing is showing, which is sort of nice actually, right? Let's say like, let's do like Nick's query, right? So like Nick wants to watch anything that's 2010 or after, which is what this means. Come on, you only care about like a rating 8? Oh shit, nothing happened. Oh, these are ends when they should be or. That's why. Because only one of these has to be true for this to be queried. So let's try that again. So this should be 8. No. I think semicolon insertion's freaking out. Yeah, what? Wait, this is shit. Okay. So let's think about this. This is going to return... This will return true if we've modified the data. If this query year is greater than 0, which by default is... this is tricky because I don't know if the data is defined as a number or not, because JavaScript is a type unsafe language, which is sort of insane. So my concern is, because we've initialized it as a string, the initial state is not a number. It's an empty string, which is sort of weird, right? I feel like that's the problem, but it's not. If you guys know the answer, let me know. If this query year, let's just do this. Let's just do console log this query year, because we want to see how the data is being stored natively at runtime. And it doesn't do anything until we change a dependency. So if I like type something, the data is, oh, we don't care about that. We want to care about we care about this at runtime. So that's actually easy. we can just query the app. We can say, give me the app's query year at runtime. But, okay, so it is a string. That's sort of what I was worried about. So if this query year is not empty, or this, oh, that doesn't exist. That's probably, fuck. This is, because these belong inside of an object called query, which even though they're strings now, we can model whether they're, I think that's going to work. Yeah, and if I like type, okay, cool. That means I've made Emin happy. I hope I'm saying your name right, man. Or woman. Okay, so let's try this. So like, let's do, okay, so do we need semicolon insertion? Yeah, so semicolons, it's inserting a semicolon here, which means this doesn't get evaluated at all, but I believe a parentheses will override that. Yeah, okay, cool, that did work. Okay, finally, I can help Nick with his thing, right? It's like, Nick, you want to see a movie from 2010, right? And you want it to be at least 8. Here are your recommendations, and I'll put this in the chat, and you can have a fun time. Now, the cool thing is, this is just the text. It'd be kind of nice to see all of the data, and that's actually not that hard, because we're just using the mustache syntax. I can just easily do result year plus space place space place space place space plus, and then we'll do like this. We'll do like, because I like it when years appear like this. Uh-oh. Space. Oh, result. Okay. Whew. That is really cool. Okay, so give me a movie that was produced in 2010 and has a star of 8. Okay, Nick, what would you like to watch? You have a few too many movies, so let me go ahead and filter that down for you. We can change this gradually. We're Interstellar? Yeah, let's see how far we can go up before it breaks. Okay. Holy cow, these are both, what is this movie? Never heard of it. April, what is it now? June? March, April, May, June. Okay, it's already out. Ugh, violent. Well, it got really good reviews. That's so cool. Let me put this code online, I'll throw it in a gist, and then I'll put the gist in the comment, just if anyone wants to see it, and then we'll close this out, and I don't know how long we're running. We started at like 9:20. Holy shit. Okay, oops. Okay, and then we can get rid of this. Okay, and then this is search 3. Okay. Let me put this in the chat, and then we'll close this up. Do you guys have any final questions before we close this up? Yeah, it's sort of surprising. The thing, so Nick, bear in mind, it might have been better if we had added a parameter for like the number of votes, because sometimes movies that don't have a lot of votes have these like really weird like ratings, because there's not enough data for it to be sort of like legitimate. So that's an example of why this architecture is really nice, because it could very easily be adapted to have 20 parameters, not just 3. But that is just a matter of code and data, but it's nothing that we don't already understand. Let me put this in the chat. Anna, let me yeah, right? That's exactly why it's 9:3. Because like the director like told all of his friends to go like it on Facebook, and then now it's showing up in our like freaking, you know, app that we spent so much time on, and I feel personally offended. Anna, I know that this is a relevant project for you specifically, so do you have any specific questions? Just for what it's worth, I want to make sure that I answer them. Or anyone else for what it's worth. You guys can imagine if we make this pretty and we add an API, this is functional. I mean that could in a way be like a startup, right? Like if you have an account, you can log in, you can save search results, you pay like $1 a month, and everything just works. And it's like that could be a product. And I think we've probably written at least like 25% of the critical code, at least like the architecture for what it's worth. Okay, if you guys have thoughts or questions before we wrap up? Okay, don't worry. For what it's worth, tomorrow I'd like to do something completely new, but I think still related to Vue. And I'm going to record the course soon, so then I can focus on other things. Anyway, thank you. I won't waste any more of your time, but thank you. And I'll put this on YouTube in like 10 minutes, I think, because I don't need to edit it. I can just press a button and then it's online. Yeah. And because it's closed caption, you can always search the words that I said. If you like remembered a phrase and you wanted to check it later, you can totally do that. Question from Emin. Emin says, Bulma is God or bad? I think he meant good. Bulma is cool, because Bulma will teach you about CSS, but Bulma is really hard if you're a beginner, honestly. I would stay away from Bulma until you understand the box model and until you understand conditional compound CSS classes. So Bulma is really great if you get CSS intuitively. If you don't get CSS, it will cause you pain because Bulma is making assumptions about what you should know. So there's nothing, like, Bulma's awesome, but it does have, like, there's a barrier. You can't just use it per se. That being said, you can build a lot of things with it, and very quickly. Like, we could hook up this entire thing that we made to Bulma very quickly and make this nice. That would be totally doable, right? Anyway, I'm ready to wrap this up. Am I showing the year twice? It's sort of dumb. It should be the rating. Yeah, let me close this up, though. And thank you guys again for doing this with me, because I didn't know how to do this. That's so cool. Obviously could get better, but it's nice. Imagine, like, God, this would be like a really nice product. And you could do this for like not just movies, or you could do this for video games, you could do this for like research or science, or because you just need this arbitrary data to be organized. You need to write a couple of functions to deal with the handling the data, and then the rest of it could just be like these could all be links that point to some search engine or website. So this is actually a generic search engine. It's not limited to sort of like one thing. Yeah. Okay, guys, let me close this up. But thank you, seriously, because this is so much fun for me. And I learn a lot very quickly. So anyway, I will close this out, and I can talk to you over Slack or Twitter. All right, thank you, guys.